Welcome, families, to our fourth episode of the Archangel Book Nook podcast, celebrating Literacy Week and all things reading. Today, I'm thrilled to bring a book to you about somebody who just kind of didn't believe they could do different things and so decided to play it safe. Of course, that's not how the story ends, so we'll have to listen to our dramatic rendering by our mystery teachers to bring you this particular story. This is the last day of the Mystery Teachers game. So while we will have a podcast episode tomorrow, today is the last day for the Mystery Teacher game, which means you need to write down all of your guesses on the paper that was sent home and submit it tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be announcing who the mystery teachers are, and I will be figuring out who had the best guesses from each classroom, and those people will get a little prize. So make sure to submit your papers tomorrow morning. Today I'm also thrilled to be having an interview with Madame Tantongco, our French teacher, our librarian. She wears many hats and she does a lot of things behind the scenes to keep this school running. So I'm really thrilled to be bringing you an interview with her. And without further ado, let's jump into that. I'm thrilled to have here with me Madame Tantongco, who wears many hats in our school. Madame Tantongco, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So we'll jump into the questions. And I mean, it is rather an important interview because you are the school librarian. And Mrs. Grant has already said that it was her school librarian when she was a kid that got her into reading. So, I mean, no pressure, but what do you like to read the most?
What do I like to read the most? I like all kinds of genres, but my favorite one, I have to say, would be biographies. Stories about real life people, how they inspire all of us to do better. And I just find that it's interesting to learn more about the people in our community, in our world.
That is really interesting. I would not have pegged you for biographies.
What would you have pegged me for?
Something fictional for sure, just because you have such a wide knowledge base on what's out there for literature. But biographies, I'm inspired. I'm inspired to pick up a biography myself. I have two at home that my husband has read. Mark Messier's autobiography and Rick Mercer's, which came out a while ago, but which I haven't gotten around to yet. So
that's awesome.
Thank you. I'm inspired.
That's parenting books.
Parenting books, yeah.
Parenting books.
What was reading like for you as a child?
I absolutely loved to read, and you could not get me away from a book. I remember when I was little, it was time for homework after school, and I would always have books hiding underneath my homework, and I would sneak them out and read them when my mom wasn't looking, and every time she came back to check on me, I would hide the books away, but I was a bookworm when I was growing up. I read nonstop.
I am the same way, actually. And when I was a kid, my homework time was 7 o'clock, no matter whether you had homework or not. So if I didn't have homework, it was a half an hour of reading at 7 o'clock, which was no hardship because I was probably already reading something. Yeah. And then what is your favorite book or series? Maybe either from when you were a kid or from now, doesn't matter.
Growing up, I read a lot of different series, like Roald Dahl, I read Nancy Drew, Babysitter's Club, you name it, I read it.
Mm-hmm. That's funny because I think, so that's you, Mrs. Grant, and me that all read the Babysitter's Club.
From the same...
Yeah, same few years of age, yeah. But I was more Hardy Boys rather than Nancy Drew.
Too.
Okay,
yeah,
there we go.
But Nancy Drew was more my thing than Hardy Boys. I found. Hardy Boys was a bit more violent, aggressive. I don't know.
Huh. I don't remember enough
my
to...
take on it.
Yeah.
I read both, and you know what, Nancy Drew was more my thing.
Yeah.
All those yellow covered ones.
Yeah.
And we bought them from Costco. We would go every week and we would pick out a new box set.
I think I had my dad's set of Hardy Boys from when he was a kid, so that was decided for me ahead of time. But I loved them.
So all of those books are now boxed up in the garage waiting for my kids to read them.
There we go. Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about books and owning books,
yes,
is they can be passed down. And for our last question, why is reading important, in your opinion?
Why is reading important? Reading is like the gateway to knowledge.
Wow. I'm not sure you need to keep going there.
No, it is You live vicariously through books. Sometimes you can be an armchair traveler and you can just live other people's experiences by reading different kinds of books. And
I love that. Armchair traveler.
Armchair traveler.
Yeah. I'm reading a lot of Rick Steves lately, so it really is quite appropriate. Well, thank you, Mrs. Tantongco, for joining me for this interview. We appreciate hearing from you. And boys and girls, get out there and read some Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew.
Thank you, Mrs. Roach.
Thank you once again to Madame Tantongco for joining me for that interview. I am inspired to get out there and read some biographies and find out about different people's lives. Now we'll get into our dramatic reading of The Koala Who Could.
The Koala Who Could, written by Rachel Bright and Jim Field. In a wonderful place where the day was just dawning and the breezes blew soft on a warm golden morning, in a place where the creatures ran wild and played free, a koala named Kevin clung to a tree. A nicer gray fellow you never would meet, as soft as a soft thing from ear tufts to feet. His favorite way to relax in the sun was to cling and to nap and to munch a leaf bun. And after all this, well, he'd need a nice rest. Yes, Kevin liked sticking to what he knew best. You see, high up was safe since he liked a slow pace, while the ground down below seemed a frightening place. Too fast and too loud and too big and too strange. Nope, Kevin preferred not to move or to change. So he clung to his tree as he knew what to do and was never too keen to try anything new. So when Wombat stopped by and shouted one day,
"Hey, Kevin, why don't you come down here and play?"
I think
he replied,
I should stay on my plan. I'm busy right now. No, sorry, I can't.
Why not?
cried the Ruse with a super loud cheer.
Yes, why?
Called the Dingoes.
There's nothing to fear.
But Kevin, who'd never been one to act fast, said,
I'm clinging to do, but it's nice that you asked.
As Kevin sat watching them chatter and share, a part of him wished he could join in down there. But he knew he'd miss home. It was so dark and so late. The whole thing was risky. Adventure could wait. Whatever the invite, he'd always say no. Oh dear, it seemed Kevin just couldn't let go. So his life was the same no matter the day. The weeks came and went and the months rolled away. And Kevin stayed still while the world moved around until he awoke to a worrying sound. Tap, tap, the sound went. Well, this was a blow. Tap, tappity, tap, 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 tap. Oh no!
Uncling!
The crowd called which had gathered below.
Leap and we'll catch you! Just let yourself go!
But Kevin was scared.
Let go? No, I shan't. I won't,
Shouted Kevin.
Oh dear, I just can't.
Woof! Down came the tree, and with it was bringing crash and a wallop, Kevin still clinging. Kevin, he carefully opened one eye and looked up at the love staring down from the sky. Then one paw by one paw, he loosened his hold. He felt springy and light and happy and bold. The worst he could think of had now come to pass, and he was just fine. Why, he felt quite first class. So when Wombat leaned over and held his paw out, Kevin no longer felt worry or doubt. When Dingo asked,
Now, will you come out to play?
the crowd all joined in with a,
What do you say?
and even though this wasn't part of his plan, Kevin replied,
Yes, I think that I can.
and Kevin from then on was always can do. because life can be great when you try something new.
Wasn't that a great story? It is wonderful when people find out that sometimes a little change can open your world to big possibilities. I'm happy for Kevin, and I hope you are too. Thank you once again for joining me on the Archangel Book Nook podcast. It has been a pleasure and a privilege to bring you these stories and these interviews. Today's the last day for the mystery teacher guesses, so please don't forget to return your guesses tomorrow to your classroom teacher for a chance to win a prize. This afternoon we have our second matinee performance of The Lion King with an evening performance at 7 p.m. tonight. You don't want to miss out. It is amazing. So do come and celebrate our very talented students with us. Speaking of talented students, thank you once again to Brandon, Daniel, Andrew, and Ben in grade 7 for composing and performing this awesome music. You are very talented indeed. Thanks once again for joining me. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for a special student book recording, as well as I will be revealing who the mystery teachers are. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Boo boo butt.